There I go waiting a couple seconds again because, ow, smarter, not harder, I guess. Uh, anyways, I was trying to get the right volume for the frequency that was coming through. So today I decided to go with the 999 transcendence frequency. What I noticed this week while playing around with this one is that, like, after 5 minutes, when you're like fully locked in, you have started to breathe in sync with the vibration. You start noticing like everything is connected. And that sounds like some shit, right? But listen to the frequency, just sit with it. And then you're going to start connect dots. But then when you connect the dots, you're going to see how this dot over here has something to do with this one over here. And you never thought you understood how these were connected before, but everything is just coming together like a positive spider web, if you will. I stabbed myself in the eye at the beginning of this session. And now that I know all things are connected, this has something to do with somebody who was previously blind or just had one eye covered or something. That person is transcending, overcoming, breaking through to the other side. Wild how this happens, right? And the fact that I have to connect everything from the moment that we start this. You know what I also noticed this week? So my camera is like, it's right above here, and it's a little circle with this light next to it. I am so bad with being seen and eye contact and all of this stuff that even when I've been doing these videos for you guys, I've been avoiding eye contact with the camera. So when you see me looking like this, just because I'm like already synced to not connecting on a deep level, I don't know. Well, I know, but I don't know. But it has something to do with this reading. So I was coming on here because I was in my pink dress. And I did make a mental note of how many times I wore this dress in my videos. But I'm like, it's my heart space dress, whatever. And I probably am only tearing myself up like this, but I think it's important that we have these conversations about the things that are blocking us from being our best selves. I wasn't looking at my videos because I don't like to look back at my stuff. At first, I figured if I saw it, I'd be like, oh man, I'm ugly. So I just like would stop making them. But instead, much to my own surprise, like my more enlightened self, I guess I'll say that, was like, it doesn't matter. Like, are you getting the message across? Is it coming across in the way that you want it to come across? Because you really can't control like what you look like to a certain extent. If somebody thinks you're ugly, or even if you think you're ugly, just take it out with God, because like he made you and there's nothing else you can do but work with the car you got. It's like dad gifted you a graduation convertible or whatever. Are you going to turn down the car and miss out on the experience? Like, no. So I would like to pass that message on, because I did so many sessions this week for people who were just not in their lane because they couldn't transcend or overcome the blockages, the perceived blockages, because I don't even think that these are actual blockages. It's the things with inside ourselves, and it's 12:12 on the clock right now. The cage that we're all trapped in is the one in our minds. And that's why this transcendence vibration was chosen. That's wild, right? I wish I could see how long I've been recording. Has it been 5 minutes? Because I can tell I'm locked in now. So the next thing about this frequency, guys, is that I don't want to say it slows down stuff, because sometimes, you know, when I'm channeling, y'all will notice I get like really like, that's because the energy coming through me is really fast. And that usually happens when I'm tapping into a certain person's energy and whatnot. With this, rolling with the homies, it feels very, go with the flow. I'm really into this frequency thing, y'all. And I thought that's what I was coming on here to talk about, but it seems like I have a message to deliver. So I have my angels deck next to me. something was bothering me, guys. And I've been using this deck a lot lately. I'm actually coming to the point where I'm making a decision as a conduit for responses that I would like to begin each session I do, starting with the opening angel card, just to have that angel over the ceremony, like us in a bubble. um, based upon what I've been doing lately, I'm gonna say I've been learning Christ magic. I don't want to say white magic. I don't like the way that sounds. But I've been doing things with the solar things. I've been doing like positive things. Not that I was ever doing black magic, but it's just it feels different. At one point I was feeling like, and no offense to sex workers, but I was feeling like a sex worker. Like I'm not doing anything wrong, but like everything about, like I can't talk to nobody about my job or anything. Like it's very taboo, right? So my dad came to visit and he's extra like cut it, right? With all of my stuff. But I only had one hiccup. So I was telling him some ghost stuff about my grandma because she comes to me in dreams and stuff sometimes. And I think the problem was that it wasn't even just dreams. She had actually appeared to my mom. And keep in mind, this is not my mother's grandmother. This is my dad's grandma. Came up in my mom's dream, I guess, because she's clairvoyant and they used to sort of have a relationship, right? I started smelling her around. And when I went to say something to 211 and my daughter, they were like, hold on, we were just talking about her at work. When stuff like that happens, that's how you know a passed on loved one is trying to get your attention. When multiple people are thinking about them or seeing in their dreams, and certain stuff is just like popping up that you can't miss that reminds you of this person. They want your attention. So I start saying this to him, and he's like really upset. And we had to just stop because we weren't getting anywhere. So this was at the lunch we were at. We went our separate ways. He went back to his room. I came back to my space and we were going to meet up later. When I got home, I was guided to do a throat chakra meditation. I did my little 30 minutes, whatever. I did not have any more issues expressing myself to him, even about this job after the throat chakra thing. It's like there was some damage in it. Ironically, there was some damage to me being able to express myself around him. So my Chiron is in Gemini in my 11th house. That's your throat. That's literally a throat chakra wound. His sun is at the exact same degree. It turns out he is the root of my difficulty with eye contact and talking to people and all that sort of stuff, right? So when I came back, he's like, so what is your job again? Because that's how he is. He's not trying to be an asshole, but he kind of is. So I explained I am an astrologer, but I use astrology for life coaching. I use multiple different avenues to help people heal their spiritual issues. Suddenly, the taboo or the shame that clearly just had to do with like me inside and all the religious stuff going on that was put on me by him, but it was put on him by his Catholic grandmother and all that sort of stuff, right? It didn't feel like that. I didn't feel shame when I went to explain that, hey, I can read the stars and tell somebody stuff that I have no business knowing, but it helps them and it changes their whole lives. There's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of with this job, just because a group of people who literally use this info to run their empire told everybody else, you can't have that because you're going to go to hell for it, because they didn't want them to come up. Bottom line, we've all been getting finessed for a very long time. And I believe that at a core level, this is probably like a past life witch wound or something. It's probably his ass in another life too. But I felt the need to share that because our blockages are stopping us from what's already meant to be ours. I had been in my cage. It was just a perception that I was still struggling with certain things, like in this finances, right? That I was still struggling with finances, that I'm still not as abundant as I should be for somebody who knows all this information and is able to manifest and move like all sorts of stuff, right? I sat down and actually looked at my bank statement, something that I don't do. And it's so bad because I just thought about the Drake song, how much money, like what? I don't know how much I made. Never mind, I forgot. Like that's the energy I have. I'm making it and I'm just in survival mode making it. And I did not ever correct that. So when I went and looked at my statements, I was like, the money I have been asking God to give me to do the things I want to do has been right here the whole time. I just didn't notice it because I was too busy stuck in the cycle of what I was used to perpetuating. Everything could be okay right now. I could be existing in the version of myself that's in my head this whole time with what I have now if I had just taken inventory. I guess we grow when we need to, when we're ready to accept it, when we're ready to open our eyes and transcend. Now I need to look up the meaning of the word transcendence. Look, I had to look across the top of my screen, like, what tabs are up? What am I revealing? Because I told y'all about my search and how sensitive I am about that. I'm like, nobody can see what I'm searching or what I'm doing at this moment. Like, even in my house, I'm such a freak, guys. But I love that about me. I'm learning to love that about me. I don't like if somebody comes in, I'm watching a video or searching something, I stop it or I cover it or I hide it immediately. And it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it's usually nothing. But I'm just really like, but if we're gonna go back to it, I cannot breathe with my father and my stepmother. Like I remember one time I used to keep like my diaries and my stories and everything online. She got mad, my stepmother, because she didn't know what I was doing on the computer, what I was keeping private, like what was I spending all my time doing? Because I put passwords on what I was writing. So she made me sit down and unlock all my stuff so she can read it and then like report back to my dad what my stories were about and stuff. This is the same person who actually found my diary, went out of her way to find my diary. And then I got in trouble for what was in my diary. She had gone through my diary like it was the Bible with the highlighter, just like she had read all my stuff. Like, why are you so obsessed with me? How I would have felt if Mean Girls had been out at that time. Now she gave it back when I was an adult, and that's how I knew that she had went through it with the highlighter and everything. She kept my diary for years and would not give it back. But once again, since now everything is being purged, you see, I'm looking around like, why the fuck is this coming up? But reasons that I don't share my mind, reasons that I hide stuff. And guys, I just noticed what the hell this was. Transcendence. So when you're locked into the transcendence frequency, like I said, you can't just notice one point. You're going to notice that A leads to B leads to C. I just like accidentally solved the whole throat chakra issue, the reason I don't want to be seen, the reason I don't let anybody look at my searches, and surprise, surprise, the reason I stopped writing. I used to write beautiful stories and poems and songs and all that sort of stuff. But as soon as she violated me by highlighting my whole life and then having to sit down and have a meeting about my thoughts, and keep in mind, I wasn't thinking anything crazy, but I did read Stephen King, and I've always been a fan of erotica. So, I could understand that, but I was a nerd. Like, I should have just been left to my nerdery because it's where I came back full circle. So, thanks, guys, for giving me somewhere where it's open and accepted. And maybe now I can start to heal through those wounds because I've been thinking about starting to not write such long posts on the Facebook page because they get cut off on Instagram, and half the time I have to paraphrase them anyway. But actually taking that to a blog space, like on my website, where I can fully write out the whole like novel is what it feels like most of the time because I have so much to think about or to say on one subject. But what if I use that as my blog and then I can like just use a piece on the page and then come to the website if you want to see the rest of it? I should never do a video to this frequency again because I can't shut the fuck up. So transcendence, okay, nah, I get it. Come through. I feel like I could use this for something cool. Like if I ever have to give a speech somewhere or talk in a place that I'm uncomfortable, I'm just gonna like have the 999 in the background, not even worry about it, baby, because transcendence. So transcendence means existence or experience beyond the normal or physical level. Superiority. I messed that word all up. Clearly, I'm not in the superior area of this word. But what is the true meaning of transcendence? You have gone beyond ordinary limitations. Trans, beyond, and scandari, meaning to climb. I feel like I need to take a Latin class. If I took a Latin class and learned all the prefixes, because that's how I learned Spanish. I'm actually fluent in Spanish. Or well, it's been a long time since I used it, but I got so good in Spanish in school that they like gave me a college teacher. And then when I got to her, she was like, okay, so there's like, it's whatever. There's nothing else we can do with you here. But in the good way. I made it to the max in the Spanish. And like, even now, like when I go to a country that is Hispanic speaking, they don't talk to me in English. I don't know if it's like the look because I'm black, blackity black. But clearly they can sense some other things in there. But anyway, see that I can't do it with this frequency. Like I can't stop connecting dots. This is crazy, but great because the last two videos, I'm recognizing that I'm teaching you guys something as I'm getting taught it so that you can see how it plays out better. Like the last video, I was able to show y'all how the book works with your cards and with your charts. And when something is the correct answer, you can find it verified in at least 3 other ways that something is the truth. The truth just works in 3s. It is what it is. But transcendence, beyond ordinary limits, I'm going to say, in this case, using transcendence as a frequency for which you are aligning your mental space to channel, because that's what I'm using it for today, for divination. See, I haven't even pulled out cards yet, and I'm fairly sure something that I said in here got somebody's attention. I know it did. Because it's this is trippy. I love all of this. It's linking like the gaps together in my internet connectivity. So what is today's video for? I am here to announce to somebody that they passed, that they leveled up, that they are going to be moving up to the next level. And I am only the messenger because I too am going to be rising up to this level as well. So let's see what angel is guiding us during this. But good job, whoever this is. You got the thorn out of your eye. And what does that have to do? Judging somebody else for their sin? 17 children died in a school fire. I'm sorry, that went by my screen. The hard thing about being in the middle of Revelations is watching all the horrible stuff that goes down. My question is, and maybe I'll get an answer while I'm doing this with you guys. If this is the rapture, and it's just not everybody disappearing up in little blue lights, but we are all going home. A lot of our souls have been here for millions of years. We did not want to be here this long. And you can tell when you ask somebody else, are they coming back to Earth? And they like, hell nah, I ain't never coming back here. That's because you've been here, like you've been trapped thousands of years. Saturn is very, very tricky. You've been in an escape room, an escape planet for a long time. So I do understand a time period where God says, okay, game over. Anybody who wants to leave before we start the next round, y'all can go. All right, I got that. That's the rapture. What I don't understand is the painful exits. When COVID first started, I was like, that's a horrible way to go. You can't breathe. But then I heard that people were pretty much just going to sleep. Maybe I'm wrong about that. If somebody lost somebody during COVID or whatever the case may be, I'm so sorry. I believe I lost my grandmother during it. She was out during like the first month. Like suddenly she got like she couldn't breathe and she thought she was just having an asthma attack. Then the next thing you know, ghost, like literally, y'all. I'm sorry, I have no chill. But to go in your sleep is the way that you should go. If this is a rapturous thing, you should just be able to go out your body. So when I see something like 17 children die in a school fire, that's not God. I think, and clearly it's not just my thought, the demons are trying to make sure that the people who are leaving anyway leave in a way that makes them recycle back instead of actually just going. They are targeting the people that are already about to rapture out, but just in ways, because when you die in a traumatic state, you go to the vibration of whatever their trauma was. Now, keep in mind, hell isn't only for punishment. If you die in a fire, it's pretty traumatic, and then you will come back again and have to get over your fear of fire. So it just seems like evil stay on it. Evil stays on it, even when good's trying to plan something. So, the thorn in the eye. If you describe someone or something as a thorn in your side or your flesh, you mean that they are a continuous problem to you or annoy you. That's what I just got when I went to go, like, when I thought about the hitting myself in the eye and the transcendence is somebody just removed a thorn from their eye, or a thorn has just been removed from their eye. A continuous problem, something that was blinding your sight, something that was stopping you from leveling up. That has been the message from the beginning. You just released it, or you are releasing it, or you recognize that it is time for you to release it. So even just you acknowledging that and saying like, all right, this is the decision I'm going to make, got you like the thumbs up from God. Like, all right, you passed the test. You recognize sometimes you got to let something go, even if you want to hold on to it. That was my second picture. But that's sort of what came through just now. Somebody just made a really difficult decision, and it could be internally, just like you said it to yourself and you meant it. So ta-da, welcome to the other side of sanity. So what angel is going to be assisting me with this message today? I feel like I should instead of because it's just a thing I do to like segue, but if I like it'll sound way more like smart. One day I'll stop tearing myself apart and like trying to perfect everything, but that won't be today. I will not transcend that today. When I have optimized my character to my desired, see, there it goes again. When I don't do that, turn into Obama. When I have optimized my character to the level I'll be happy to maintain, I'll stop. I think I'll stop. I hope I stop. God have mercy on me. So hard on myself. So today's angel, the magician, number 25. So I'm going to go ahead. Can I just type in 25? Hold on. I'm going to my book. Yes, yes. Because lately, I'm like, everything is in here. If I want to know the details of a sign, because I can pull up a chart and channel something from it. And I noticed that what I'm channeling from the chart is the information that's in my book. Like I'll get an idea or a sense like this person is supposed to do something. Then I go to my book in the same degree. It says, this is a skill that goes along with what I was saying to that person. In this case, we got angel number 25 assisting us today. Knit. There we go. And this one represents Leo, the zeroth through 5th degree. And that's wild because that's where my Mars is. That's where my power is, my personal power in my 12th house. So that's great. So whoever you are, check what you have between 0 through 5 in your chart in the sign of Leo. And it might not even be a planet or anything there, but it could be the house that you have it in. So the magician, wherever you have the 0th through the 5th degree is where your power lies. For this angel in particular, I got stopped up because like, hold on. The generous God, angel number 25, imparts spiritual wisdom and magic, helps one gain wisdom and discover hidden secrets. Y'all, transcendence. Discovery of hidden mysteries of creation can obtain everything. Transcendence. What we just saw is going beyond human, or the definition we saw, going beyond human capabilities to pull things into self. Well, that's great. Yeah. The last video I did was on purification. Remember, I had the purification frequency on, right? The other angel that's here is the 9 of Swords, and I'm actually going to pull up 9 of Swords. I never went through the trouble of learning the tarot meanings, I was always like holding the card and then seeing what came off of it. And then sometimes I'll look at the picture and I can recognize this goes with this. It's like the colors stand out a little bit brighter to me when my attention is supposed to be drawn to it. But I never learned the traditional meanings. And I think that was really good for me because it didn't put a bracket on what I could say when it was a card. And I'm looking bracket. What's the bracket? But I notice a lot of readers, and this is no shade to anybody. You learn how you learn. You learn these meanings, and then when you see the cards, you just repeat that meaning, but you're not able to connect it to the other ones. You just hold a bunch of cards and you repeat this one means this one means that, this one means that, and then the client is left to discover what that means for themselves. But there's never actually an interpretation. I learned from the beginning an interpretation. So, Nine of Swords, anxiety, fear, despair. In this case, I would have looked at this card because it's the comforting God. It would have been somebody who was making it better, but it says purification, protection from the impious. This is like, and it's funny because it's an angel protecting, but it says religious sentiments. But this is a feeling of knowing that God got you, that God is generous, that God is helping. This is a message to let you know that you are protected in going forth with whatever decision you just made. Sorry, that's my son. To level up, God has your back. Like, if you were nervous about doing what you're about to do, if you're worried about like the backlash, is what I'm getting from the changes that are about to be made. And ooh, that just hit me. Crazy. Now I'm in this collective with y'all getting this message. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Y'all know I've been talking about getting divorced forever. I was not doing it because of the backlash. Remember, there's not an intimate, oh, make my bun fall out. That's with my hand back and forth, but whatever. Yeah, I'm not in an intimate relationship. I'm not dating, but I'm still technically in a binding contract. And I realized recently, like, oh no, my energy is still tied to this. Like, I'm still technically his property, so he's still reaping the benefits of having my stuff. And I need all my stuff to myself right now. I don't have no man. I shouldn't be splitting my magical energy I put in on this, not him. So I kept going about it the wrong way. I kept going up to him like, hey, I even asked for a divorce for my birthday like 2 years ago. I would have like it is it's just not right. But then I realized, hold on, a divorce is not about needing somebody's permission to not be with them anymore because you're not happy. My thing was always, he's like, you're the one with the problem, not me. I'm fine. I'm good in this relationship. Of course, you got me, baby. Of course you're fine. I am not adequately being compensated for my time and energy and the gift that I am in this relationship. So I no longer want to be a part of this. I would like to remove myself and keep the prize to myself until somebody else is worthy of me sharing that energy that can match this, right? I was asking permission. The only being I needed to ask permission from was God. I already had a feeling within myself. And you know what God said when I came up to that conclusion? You see like how calm I got, the peace, that was the feeling I got. Just go file. Step one, make the step. That's my first step into transcendence. I don't need to ask his permission. I've said it literally for 7 years. I've been asking this man for a divorce. And I believe he believes if I just stay here long enough, oh, you'll get over it. You'll fall back in love again or whatever. Although there's no effort towards it. But you're here. I got you already. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to get the papers. And God said he had the rest. So that's what I'm sensing off of this. And all I've done just now is to tap into the frequency and look at the two angels that showed up for this reading. This is saying, hey, you're going to be provided with whatever you need to get to this next level for yourself. No matter what comes up or who comes against it, know that God has you. There is an inner peace that you will carry as stones are thrown or whatever the case may be. Nothing that is meant to stop you from making this level up to get closer to me, and that's God, by the way, is going to stop it. Bottom line, if you are moving in the right direction, everything that is in the land of, what's that, poppies on the yellow, it's going to stay. It's going to fall asleep in the land of poppies. It's going to fall off. Like, check this out, right? There's somebody down here that's being attacked. Because look, this is like a little titty bitch. A woman trying to flog this person, but there's an angel questionably nude on this person's back, protecting them, literally on their back, like, hey, touch not my anointed. Angels got your back. Don't be afraid of making this jump. So I'm gonna pull from a little homemade deck that I started. I'm gonna add some more cards to this deck. Now that I see how good it worked, how well it worked. I'm gonna get the source. I want to learn all sorts of words for replacement words. All right, what does this person need to know about this level up, this transcendence? Oh, well, I take a pause and listen. The first thing that popped out, I'm not gonna lie, was somebody being two-faced. And maybe that's the thing that was brought to your attention. That's what was brought to my attention. Am I in this too? Are we going through this together, y'all? Are we trauma bonding? I don't want us to trauma bond. That's not a good thing. How about we have a thriving bond? We grow through the difficulties that were meant to keep us traumatized and bound. I like that better. So somebody was two-faced. This is the first thing that popped out. And then on the back, it says, a dream turned into a nightmare. My daughter wrote this, by the way. Don't think that's my handwriting. So a dream turned into a nightmare with a two-faced person. This person is given Harvey Dent. And that's Two-Face from Batman. Like, 1 second they're talking to you like this, and the next is like, bitch, what did you say? Like, but I think that's what you're transcending. Somebody that had a dual nature that wasn't willing to accept their own dual nature. Maybe this person made you feel like you were victimizing them because they weren't accepting a whole nother side of themselves. So when you would bring up traits that weren't the most positive, like, hey, you need to work on that, that person would be like, that's how you really feel about me? Dream turned to a nightmare. It looked all good at first, but it was not once that two-face, once that coin flipped. Maybe there's something to that coin flip too. But the actual message here, that really just took me out. The coin flip. Take a pause and listen. If you were unaware before this video that God was trying to tell you something, that's from The Color Purple. Love that song. God was trying to tell you something. You might have made a promise to yourself, or you had a thought or something, but whatever it was, whatever that pain or distress that you called out about was, God heard. And it's like, hey, if you really want to take a new path, if you really want to transcend, if you really want to get out of this, if you mean what you just said, listen as I guide you out. You ain't got to be over here with Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It's like you're about to be underground railroaded out. So where are you going? Where's this person going? I'm actually gonna, instead of my map deck, I usually use my maps for this, right? I'm gonna use the Astro Star Codes, which is a map, but it's astrology based. Like it's gonna say such and such house, North Node, or whatever the case may be. So where is this transcendence leading? Where is this transcendence? I feel like I'm talking on a secure line. I think I said that last time too. Like every time I'm doing with this with one of the frequencies when I'm synced in, I feel like there's no other message or outside thing that can slip in or doubt. I feel like I'm hearing like super clearly. So this person is worried about this collective, I'll say, because this is clearly multiple people, because I can even say like, yeah, some of this applied to me. Guys, you know what I found out about? Yes, I am branching off. squirrel. I can't say the word. Reticular. I can't say it. The Raz. Let me see if I can pull it up. But I listened to these affirmations, right? And at the beginning of them, because that's how she talks, at the beginning of the affirmations, there is a explanation she does where she says the reticular blah blah blah. Maybe I can just go like this and it'll pop up. See, reticular activating system. That wasn't even that hard when I saw it, but when she said it, it was like reticular. But even then, me just saying it doesn't seem like it was that bad. Anyway, so this thing is your subconscious mind. And whatever you tell it to pay attention to is what it's going to pay attention to, is the easy way to say it. If you begin your day and you set your mind while it's still groggy and sort of sleep mode, when you first wake up, don't grab your phone or anything. If you start saying certain affirmations and certain things, then your mind, because of this RAS thing, right, will focus on those things. You will start to connect dots between A, B, C, and D. So if your RAS or subconscious mind, whatever I ain't gotten to that yet, that's science, is focused on, oh, my life sucks. This person has put all these negative ideas in my mind, and you're recycling those negative ideas in your mind, you're going to see signs that reflect that negative stuff, and you're never going to get out that loop. If you begin your day and you start off with your positive affirmations, I am a winner, I get money, like all that stuff, right? Then throughout the day, you see tips that say, you get money, or hey, sign up for this, or blah, 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 things that help move you towards that thing. Like I said, the Harriet Tubman, or even the wise men, the star in the sky. What you focus on, you get led towards. So if you're focusing on the bad stuff, you would get led towards that. What I'm feeling here is somebody who's like, they don't want to focus on the bad stuff no more. They're tired of that. But they are having concerns that what's going on over here with this two-faced Harvey Dent person is going to cause issues for them moving forward. That seems like that's been pretty heavy here, but it's like enough is enough. This person has been holding themselves back from growing. Because look, this first card has birds, right? And it's a trine. This means working with. This is working with source energy, working with. But then right next to that, you see opposition, confrontation. I got the feeling like, or the image of somebody trying to walk out the door and then somebody in front of the door, like going back and forth, like, no, you can't leave. You cannot go here. So where is this person being led? Because that was my question. You're being led towards the actions that will give you a strategy that will completely knock out whatever this other person's plan is. If you have a hateful ex, and that's the best, or a hateful ex-best friend even, because I'm just feeling like somebody who's bitter. Like this person, the bitter person, the two-faced person, the person causing the opposition, right? Is sort of trying to hold you, the collective, the person receiving this message, from moving on to a level without them by scaring you, making you think if you leave them, you're going to drop down even more of a level. And it could very possibly be this person going to try to make you drop down a level. This is the type of person that would call your job after you broke up with them. I don't know what they would say, but anything. It's like a desperate energy. It is. So I can see why whoever this was concerned. But this goes back to what I was feeling about that divorce thing. Me trying to walk out the door. This is crazy. Hello, whoever you are, you're in the same situation as me. We should be friends. So just like this person is going to make your life living hell, or try to, or even that's the threat. You can just get a sense this person is unhinged. Don't worry about it. There's going to be something so amazing happening in your career with the way that you're led. And this is career. I'm saying that because 10th house, this is authority. This, you climb the mountain. This is where you are seen by the rest of the world. Authority, your position of authority, right? There is going to be a unique plan, something that comes out of nowhere that sends you into action. You're going to bypass whatever was going over here. So whatever gets said by this person, if that person says anything, I sort of feel like this was a bluff. Should I dig into it? How many minutes have I been doing this session? Does it matter? No. When you're delivering a message, you deliver it till it's done. Let them use you, baby, is what I have to keep in my head when I'm doing stuff like this. Even when I'm doing music, let them use you, baby. So this two-faced person is bluffing. Whatever they said they were going to do, said they were going to say. Yeah, probably in anger they said it or said they were going to do it. But even if they actually do get past the hurt that is making them say this, because this person is just saying this out of hurt. It's like they're threatening you because they don't want you to leave or move on or go forward or anything, but it's like a empty threat. They don't want to have to do that. They don't want to have to ruin your life. They just don't want to get left the fuck behind. So they're willing to do anything, even if it's like, this is like Stockholm syndrome. They don't care if you hate it there, just as long as you're there. One day you'll love it. Oh, that is so triggering. Oh my gosh, get me the fuck out of here. Dear God, please give me the money this month. I will use it for the right thing. I will not go on Shein. Okay, so maybe you got to give up some vices in order to make this jump happen too. Maybe you got to make your life squeaky clean so that when this person in their bitterness tries to say something, it doesn't make sense. It's out of place. Like, what do you mean? Hold on, let me show you. So you got to go from whatever you are currently that might make this person's story like maybe to I would never do that. I have no idea. This is just I don't look at what I'm doing over here, the progress I've made and all of this stuff. That's sad that something old and personal of that nature got brought up. It has nothing to do with my character now. And as we are all humans and we change with time, I hope that you all can respect that I too have changed from that behavior. And maybe me and that person can move forward in a different capacity. But right now, it was just an ugly falling out. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Like this could even be like custody battle, baby mama shit. Ex best friend and wants to. What just popped in my head was Ice Spice just had a girl that was on tour with her, and as soon as the girl got done with the tour, she was like, "She ain't pay me doing the tour. She ain't nothing. She ain't shit." After she just used them for everything she had, but the whole internet is like, "But wasn't she just on tour with her? Wasn't that just your friend? Why would you say this now?" That's the energy here. There'll be some people who are like, "Yeah, I knew that person was no good." For those people already believed that anyway. Anybody who has a mind that is able to discern on their own will realize, oh, this is just bitter. Whatever that's coming from, this is bitter. This person wants money. This person is blackmailing, whatever the case may be. So, what do we need to know about this two-faced person's intention? Because I was getting the feeling they're really not gonna. It's like whatever they would say would blow up their spot. Also, this person is not so dumb that they would also ruin something for themselves, although that's what they're threatening. The only way that this person would out or actually say or do whatever they're threatening is if they were intoxicated beside themselves. If this person was completely ignored. Now, it's one thing to decide you're cutting somebody off or you're moving forward or whatever for your best. But there's a difference between being gracious about that and giving the closure to a relationship in a positive way that it needs to go. You know what I mean? So that you're both like, hey, this is not working, but like it's really not working and we just need to let it be. Versus, ah, bitch, you ain't shit, never talking to you again. Energy, right? This person would lose their shit if they completely lost access to the kindness within you. As long as, no matter what you do, is what I'm feeling here. As long as this person feels like they still have access to you or they think they have a hold on you, and that's really ugly because it's like, I would hate for you to have to play mind games back. But this is sort of chess because this is somebody who's playing with you, but they won't do what they said they're going to do or what you feel like they're going to do unless they feel like you've given up on them in any capacity. Like if this was a lover, if they could still be your friend, they'd get over it eventually, like in the back of their mind. They'll be like, one day they'll love me, like whatever, but that's not your problem. The problem is that you allow grace. That's the energy I'm getting here. That you know this person did whatever they did. They had these horrible intentions. This person is not who they appeared to be to you. But you understand that this person was just doing it because that's all they knew. You're not going to take it personally, or in this moment, me saying this to you is giving you the freedom to not take it personally. Yeah, this person ended up being completely different than what they thought. And I feel betrayed. I feel backstabbed, I have anxiety, I have all this stuff going on. But I'm telling you right now that you are being led not only to a whole different partnership, whether it's a best friend or a relationship, it could be both. Either way, you're being led to a replacement for that energy. It might be a replacement for everything connected. You see how I had to roll it out? It's like your whole circle was in that two-faced energy as well. It's just like maybe you were being two-faced at one point. Maybe you were one person inside and another person outside, and that's how you got this person. But now you're learning the importance of taking a pause and listening and seeing clearly. That person's addictions popped up. Maybe you had an addiction that you shared. Maybe you're sobering up. Once again, I am one day shy of being 7 days smoke free, which is amazing. I started smoking immediately when my awakening started. Before that, I couldn't even like like one puff, I'd be high. I got to the point of chain smoking almost like midway through COVID. I was like, this is too much. But I realized at this point, holy shit, I have an addiction. I didn't even consider myself a person who had an addictive personality, but it wasn't the drug I was addicted to. It was the feeling of not being anxious that was calling me back to do this thing over and over again. So this last week, with this Virgo energy that came through, uh, it's like, nah, what is the root of this addiction? What is going to get rid of this anxiety? Because I cannot keep having to rely on this substance for the rest of my life. I cannot need this. Like, I cannot have to wake up during the day and immediately, like, oh, hell, I got to roll, like, to deal with existence. Like, at this point, I'm more, or at that point, I was more stoned just as a regular way of being than sober because of the anxiety. But it was learning to navigate this gift, all the information that had came through, and then the stress before I even got into spirituality still had to be taken care of. Just because you found the answers doesn't mean you don't have to go backwards and solve the parts of your life that went a certain way and make peace with them. So this person I'm talking to shared an addiction with this other person. You letting go of that addiction is helping you see clearly or more clearly. Maybe that person is still not seeing because they still have whatever this addiction is. And the other day, this might be related to the other reading I just did, because it was dealing with somebody who had an addiction that was causing the issue. But I was like, how do I find out what the addiction is? It could be addiction to a lifestyle, but this is like a chemical dependency I'm feeling here. I don't have any card, and I keep looking at the pine sol, so maybe it's that drink. And that sounds crazy. There's pine sol that got my attention, but it was like, let me show y'all. I am learning not to explain to people how I know stuff, because when I say it to them, if I was just to explain how I know something, they'd be like, no, that's no way. Because that's how people gaslight me. But when I just say what I know, they're like, wow, how did you know that? It's just my strange math in between. Nobody can decipher but me because it's my code. And I think that's the same thing I needed to say to you, viewer, as you're getting messages on how to get out of this situation. Not all of them are going to be as loud as this video, although this video is like a big green flag for you. I'm getting the other ones will be little sneaky things that only you notice. So you get more familiar with the way that God talks to you. The message I got about the drink is crazy. I looked over, my eye got led over to the pine sol bottle, right? But you see, it looks like drink and it's like half full, and it's sort of kind of like alcohol became a way of life. This is somebody who has like a drink with their meal, when they go out, when they socialize, it's just what they do, and it just rolled over. Like, you need a drink every time you get in the atmosphere. With this person, but my nose keeps, this is messed up. Hold on, let me let me blow my nose. Okay, so I was saying that there was no way that I could possibly know what type of addictions these would be, but I forgot I was logged into that 999 frequency. And then my nose suddenly felt the need to keep. So multiple addictions might be the case here. Okay, with the nose candy. That threw me off, y'all. Every day is something strange and amazing. But all right, now that narrows down who this person is, what the addiction is, what the issue is. They got them off. That second one might be a hidden addiction. Like nobody knows this person has that addiction, or that person has not let this two-faced once upon a time stuff was beautiful, that's a nightmare person might not have let anybody know that what used to be a recreational thing is now like an addiction. Like I pictured the the girl from, what is it, Cruel Intentions. She had a cross around her neck, and inside of the cross was like her little nose candy, so she just go like this in the bathroom and nobody knew that she was like on it like that. I picture that, but like a person who has like a small vial in that person, they just do it and they just go about their day and they just look normal and happy to everybody else. So nobody even knows that there is any addiction, except for this person can no longer control their emotions right. That's why the Jekyll and Hyde is kicking in. It's like they're not thinking clearly. The line is blurred. All they know is that they need to stop you from leaving them in that by themselves. Not that they want to get better. I'm not getting that this person wants to get better at all. This person wants you to be like you were before. But God is calling for purification. That's what that Nine of Swords was. The only thing that will make you feel better is getting what is blinding you out of your eye while you got the angel guarding your back. So releasing that addiction, whatever your addiction is, whatever the thing is that's blinding you, now that you've taken the person out of your eye, just know, don't worry about any of the things you were worried about. There's so much coming for your career. There's new partnership on the way, new messages. It's like this blockage was blocking up a lot. Now I couldn't think of nothing smart or no word for that. Drano is about to happen. That's what this transcendence is. You've been clogged up. You ain't been popping like you was. Like your energy ain't popping like you was. Like it's just not doing. But it was being filtered out. It was going somewhere else. It was clogged. You needed Drano in your life. Drano in this case is source. This is drink lots of water. Is what I'm feeling. You literally have to clean out your system. This is a flush. This is a flush so you can think clearly. This is a flush so you can get in your mastermind energy. It's like somebody here got so used to you in your relaxed energy. They got comfortable with who they thought you were. They never knew who you were before they came along. This person doesn't know the beast. That's the energy I'm getting. This person doesn't know who you were before the person they met you as either. So you got a little two-face in there too, but yours is like the other face is like the mastermind, the person who can't be played with. The last thing that I'm recognizing, that's crazy that only took 2 sets of cards for this, but frequency. It's the loop for your readings, baby. Invasion of privacy is at the top of this. And boundaries. That's together, right? Does this person have some content from your phone? Did y'all create content together? Either way, I think I'm just in confession. Yeah. So even if this person says what they say and they come with the Carfax and all that stuff, dust it off. That's not who you are anymore. And the people that are rocking with you will rock with you with the new thing. And the people who aren't rocking with you can stay where they're at because you're not even in that vibration. You're not even going to be that person anymore. God is using you as an example. This definitely goes with the other reading. God has a purpose for you that is bigger than all of this shit. If I was just going to say something that was bottom line, just keep it 100. None of this matters because you've been chosen to do something else. It's like God reached in the crowd and say, hey, you come here right quick. I got something to do. And everybody else in the crowd was like, no, what about us? Hold on, I can't. And you're like, I came with my friend. And God's like, your friend can meet you after I'm done with you, if that's what you want to do, after you see what I have prepared for you. And then God lets you sing like, as a background singer at his concert. You're at the big God concert. You didn't even know. Like none of your friends were invited or nothing, but God picked you, the one that nobody would have thought would have got these accolades suddenly. But invasion of privacy, because I'm a chicken hen in part. The first thing that popped in my head was Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy album, right? Went through your phone, started playing in my head. And that's when I looked at the boundaries. I'm like, somebody could have went through your phone, could have screenshotted some stuff, sent it to themselves, things that you possibly don't know they have. But I'm telling you, like this stuff ahead of time, so you're not blindsided. This is supposed to be feeding into your genius, your thought processing. If you have been a person that's been watching my content and didn't know it was for you before, you had a feeling and was not sure, let this be your message in this moment. This message is for you. If you doubted me before and something I said to you came true, don't make that mistake this time of wasting the time wondering if you know that something was confirmed previously. It could have been even multiple things that listening to my channel or whatever has confirmed for you. Let this be the time that you listen right away. It feels like you're a person or a collective, somebody who like loads data into your queue. You just keep it in your mind. And then when you see something else over here that reminds you like, oh, all right, maybe, but you never just take it at face value that somebody says it. That's fine. But if you have been on this channel for a while and you've got consistent evidence that yes, I am channeling, I am pinging you, take this message right now and know you're getting the keys to an exit, to a new escape, to work in a different partnership, to work on different projects, and it's all going to be in seclusion. Nobody's going to know until it pops out, and it's an amazing thing. And then by the time that amazing thing pops out, and you're already in your flow, doing your job, doing great, when this person tries to say something, it's really going to be like a gnat. You're going to be somewhere with bees and honey, just in a beautiful flower garden, and then this gnat is going to try to like come and mess up your bee honey party, but nobody cares because bees, honey, flowers, right? Nobody cares about a gnat doing that and move. That's the energy I'm getting here. Can I even think of something that's equivalent to this? I can in regards to Cardi B. Like anytime any other fan base tries to come with some negative stuff from, that is a really good example. Holy shit. So anytime anybody tries to bring up anything about Cardi being a stripper or her even drugging dudes back in the day or anything, she's like, yeah, yeah. All right, that's what it is. But right now, here I am as this person doing this, and I'm very successful. I apologize for what I did when I didn't know any better, but that's not the totality of my character. And then everybody buys her whip shots. That's pretty much the idea of what I'm sensing here. The past is the past, and as long as you are wrapped in, because the first one, this magician, that's being wrapped in God's wings. As long as you're in this cloak, as long as you're in this purification phase, when you're taking a pause and listening, this is somebody who needs to meditate more and lock in with yourself because you're being given all the clues. You just need to trust you and not these substances and people and circumstances that we're trying to previously control you. I'm going to name this Transcendence. The road you are taking is leading you to somewhere you didn't even know you would get. God's big concert, not the one in the sky yet. It's like the one on earth for everybody who's about to lead into the sky, which is a whole nother thing. The other road that's available if you don't take this pause and you continue to be a victim of oppression. And it even feels like exploitation, being disrespected, disregarded, your feelings don't matter, imprisonment. If you continue down this path of imprisonment, you will get broke out of it, but it will be through the invasion of privacy, confession, lack of boundaries way. And that this doesn't even mean it's going to come through this person. It's like you're, damn, this is going long. But I'm really like, this the transcendence thing. There are some things that are keeping you bound in fear, things about your past that are keeping you bound in fear, like you're afraid to make a move this way or that way because you don't want Jenga. If you try to stay in the situation with this two-faced thing, this two-road hoe is the energy, like that's the second road. That one leads you down the second road, right? Somebody else has some invasion of privacy stuff or a confession about their boundaries. Either way, you had a hell of a past. But it seems like if you try to avoid the tower that you are perceiving in your mind that you've locked yourself in, maybe it's like some bad things happening and you're afraid of that ever going through that bad thing again. So you're just like trying to walk on eggshells, like, please don't let that happen again. If you try to stay on this path and do what this person wants you not to grow for fear of that happening, it's going to happen anyway to show you, I am God, you will do what I say, and you're going to get it together. So if you continue to linger on this path, some stuff is still going to come out, it's still going to mess up your reputation. But instead of you being able to say, hey, look where I am, that's behind me, I'm doing really good now, you're going to have to start, it's like when a celebrity gets caught drunk driving and then they have to go to rehab afterwards and they're like, yeah, see, look, I'm doing good now. You didn't start doing it when you realized you had a problem, when you was a drunk driver that almost killed somebody. You waited until you got caught. That's not the same. People have a tendency to be more forgiving or understanding when somebody does something of their own recognizance, like when they do this because they know they needed help, they know that they needed to get better, or they know that the person that they were was not in the best place when they were not pausing and listening to God, when they were running ahead and doing things on their own. Just do what your gut is telling you is what I'm feeling. Let this message just plant a seed in your mind and may God do the rest of the work. This is me. God, please go through this screen, do the rest of the work to lead this person in the right direction. Give them signs that they cannot miss to know invasion of privacy doesn't have to be the rest of their life. That's what this path is forever. This path opens, the second one opens up like anything you've ever done, period. It's like cleaning out your closet. The second one, going with the two-face, trying to avoid invasion of privacy. Suddenly everybody's digging through your life. Everybody's doing documentaries. Like that energy, like, you know what I mean? That's what that feels like. Suddenly everybody wants to know. Like, so you must be popular where you're from. Yeah, go with God. That's how I'm gonna close this. Because clearly I can't keep this frequency on the whole time, or I just keep channeling. Stop, like fucking stop. So, vaya con Dios. Y'all have a great day.